In Conversation is a collection of interviews with fashion photographers, models, makeup artists and stylists, as they give an insight into the industry and talk about some of their most inspiring images.
So yeah, thank you for joining me. In Conversation has basically been set up as a chance to talk to models, makeup artists, photographers, anyone in the fashion industry, and just give you a chance to talk about yourself and then explain some of the images that you've created. So yeah, first of all, let's talk about you. So first of all, your background, how did you get into modelling?
Well, so my cousin, by marriage, she's not really my cousin, she's actually a model, a really successful model, and she lives in LA. And she told me one day, oh, you should be a model, when I was a kid. And I thought, no chance, like I could never do it. But she took pictures for me, sent them off, and I got accepted. And that was when I was 15, 16. So ever since then, I've just been modelling. It's been good, yeah.
So when did it when did you get kind of agency signed and everything like that?
So I got agency signed a week before my 16th birthday. And I stayed with them for a couple of years before I sort of understood the industry a bit more and knew what I wanted from myself. And I decided to move to a different agency that I felt was right for me. And yeah, but the first couple of years I wasn't working that much. I was sort of building up my portfolio, getting like used to the ropes and things. And then I started working when I was about 17. I'd say. Yeah.
And when you kind of started, was it kind of straight into it? Was it kind of like a slow build-up?
It was like a slow burn, I'd say. I had like 1 or 2 jobs when I was 16, you know, quite low paying, like not easy. It was quite hard at the time because I'd never done it before. But, you know, like small jobs just to get me into it. Yeah. And then gradually they started building up. And then I think by the time I was 17, I was working abroad a little bit, and it just, gradually built up. I think thanks to my agencies getting me the work, because I didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, it was pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, we say like the agency stuff and that, were they kind of good at those early days? Was it a case of let's build your portfolio up, doing like certain like test shoots or whatever, or was they early on, were they quite pushing to get sort of the brand shoots? Or
not really, no. It was a lot of testing. Some in-house with their photographers, and they would organise quite a lot in studios like this with other random photographers. So yeah, I'd say about 1.5 years of pure testing, nothing else. And then I think I started getting the work when my book looked good enough and people could actually see what I looked like, if that makes sense. Yeah, and what I could do. Yeah, I didn't get any work at the start because I had nothing for them to book me from. So, yeah, if that makes sense.
I suppose those early bits as well, it was a chance it was all building up confidence as well.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think was that kind of the benefit of like doing some of that kind of tests and everything?
Definitely. I could not have signed and gone straight into work. I think some people do that, but gosh, no, I would have, it wouldn't have been great. Like I look back on what I was doing then and I'm like, what were you doing? Like, I've learned so much since then. I definitely needed that learning period to just know what I was doing, because you might think it's quite easy, but it is quite difficult to actually know how to pose and just how things work. It's kind of, you got to learn it. You don't just know it. Yeah,
it's all part of like the learning process.
I think
that's what I'm saying. I think that's the kind of the importance with that, and it kind of prepares you ready for when it does come towards the stuff, like the paid stuff, the brands and everything.
Yeah, you've got to be good for that. Yeah, you can't just turn up and not know what you're doing, because they're paying on you and relying on you. So yeah, no, it's definitely good to do some practice first. Yeah, definitely.
How do you feel? Yeah, like say in comparison now, how do you feel like kind of confidence is growing? Do you feel it's kind of developed you as a person as well?
Yeah, I'm sure it probably has. I'm definitely a lot more confident now, and even like I notice now I'm more confident than I was last year, and even 6 months ago. I feel like I'm always learning and always like improving. But I did work at a restaurant as well growing up, and I felt that helped my confidence and being able to talk to people a lot. Okay, so I think it's both have made me quite a confident person. Yeah. Because I think talking to people and being able to get along with people is just as important as being able to take a good picture. Yeah. So.
Well, that's it. That was one of the things I was going to ask, is kind of how you feel you are as a person set, and I think obviously everyone's different. Do you feel like there's certain characteristics, certain aspects that does help on a set? Like say if you are quite, not saying everyone has to be like extrovert, because I'm quite introvert as well, but do you feel like there's certain characteristics that you do have to have? Or is that is it kind of stuff like, say, it just, everyone can be different, but it can be like basic stuff of just being nice and kind of listening and sort of and being involved and
I'd say making an effort to actually talk to people. Don't just sit on your phone all day. I think you don't have to be super extroverted, but you've got to be comfortable talking to people. But that will come the more you do it, I suppose. I think you have to be very thick-skinned. A lot of people probably say that. I just think that's one of the main things you need to have. Mm-hmm. If you're quite sensitive, it would be quite difficult to do this job, I think. Which is fine. Like, I understand people that are like that, but it would be difficult to do this.
Is that from the side of where does that come from? Is that sort of like in terms of work, if you don't get work, is it from that side of things, or is it more like when you're on set?
I'd say both. Okay. I think not getting work or like not getting castings and stuff like that, it can feel like, it's because they don't like me. But it's not that, it's that your look just isn't what they want for this particular thing. But then on set, especially if you're working, abroad, or you're working with new teams, big teams, people might say things that could hurt your feelings. Yeah. But you've just got to understand it's not about you, it's about how their product looks on you, if that makes sense. Yeah. Because I've quite often been told, which I don't like, but I've quite often been told that I'm too thin on set. Like, it's good, but you look too thin. It's like, what do you want me to do about that? Yeah. So you've just got to be able to brush things off.
It can be very blunt.
Very blunt, yeah. But
and like say, they're not, well, hopefully they're not talking about you, like specific, it's more about the clothes.
Yeah, and how it fits on you, and just how you're making that product look. It's not you as a person. Like, you can't take it to heart. You've just got to accept that it's not a big deal.
Yeah. And I suppose from like the modelling side, I like to say then, because then, you're the kind of face of it. You've got to like sell the clothes, so you still need to exude like confidence.
Exactly.
And stuff. So,
if you don't feel confident, it's really hard to do the job, because I've had not many, but a few jobs that I've not felt like my best, or I've maybe been made to feel not my best, and I've just not performed anywhere near as well as I know I could, and I've not been happy with the pictures, and they've never booked me again. So you've got to feel confident. That's like the most important thing, I think. Yeah.
Well, that's one of the bits. Comes back to that kind of the learning bit, and it's stuff. Yeah. You look back now, but you go, oh yeah, there was that, but I've learned from it. And I can't know. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll go into the first image.
Okay.
Which is, I think, what I'm open, is that one.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about that. Who was that shot for?
So that was just a test, for a bit of fun. The photographer Melanie, I'd followed her on Instagram, and her work was just amazing. I was like, I need to shoot with her. Mm-hmm. I can't remember if I got in touch with her first or the other way around, but I won't take credit for the creativity of it, because a lot of that was down to her, and also the styling and the makeup. Yeah, I've got the easy job really. I just turn up and pause. So,
well, that was going to be one of my questions. Was going to be the kind of the input. I mean, it doesn't have to be this image specifically, but it could be about others as well. But do you get much kind of? But do you get kind of shown much about the same with something like this? Do you get shown the mood board or the inspo and all that beforehand?
I'm sure I did. To be honest, I can't quite remember with this one. I probably did. Most shoots, I do get a mood board, especially if it's a test. But I kind of put my faith in Melanie, because I knew she was amazing. I knew whatever she did, it was going to be good. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I knew there'd be a car there. Okay. So it was quite a small, cosy studio, and there was this really cool BMW in there. And I was just like, whoa, this is such a cool car. Got chatting about it.
Is that part of the shoot, or is it just
exactly.
there?
I was like, is it just there? We're shooting with it. But the owner of the studio gave us permission to shoot with it, and which I loved. And I think it came out amazing. I don't know.
Yeah, no, they're great. Like, well, that's what I asked, because I thought it doesn't even look like just like a test shoot. It looks like it's for like a brand or something.
Yeah.
So that's why I was just interested. Was it quite a big team?
No, very, very small team. Photographer, makeup artist, stylist, and me. That was it.
Okay.
Which is nice. It's nice working with a small team.
Do you prefer that or just?
Quite easy. I'm quite easy. I like having a small team where you know everyone and it's like your friends. But if it's a massive team, like 50 of you, I quite like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's normally quite easy when it's like that.
Yeah.
And it feels quite exciting and quite fun. So, but I'm easy. Either is good for me.
Yeah. I feel the same because I think I've done some when it's like, if it's like a big brand, it's quite nice to have a big team. Like people have got this, but you've literally got people just controlling one line or like doing certain things, so a person for everything. But then I do find, especially with like some of the say like portfolio shoots stuff, if it's like just a few, it can be a bit more. It's a bit more intimate. It's a bit more kind of like you can kind of connect a bit better as a shooter, and it makes it a bit easier. Yeah,
it's like whenever there's a small team, every single time I feel like I've come out with new friends, which is really nice. Yeah. Whereas when it's a big team, usually I make friends with the makeup artist because I'm sat with them for so long, but I don't get much chance to chat to anyone else. Yeah. So it is nice having new friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just one more on that. With the makeup and the hair and that, do you, because we've got quite a few, so we've got a few different looks you've had as well. Do you like that with the kind of the slick back?
I love it. I think he did such a good job because the makeup, I might be wrong, but to me it's quite 60s. I think it's the white eye and I think it's the dress actually that's making it feel 60s, but the makeup was incredible. I absolutely loved it. And the hair slicks, it was like perfect. Absolutely, I just loved it.
Yeah.
Nothing bad to say about it at all. I was really happy with it.
Did it take long to do?
Yes, I think it did. I think it took about 2 hours.
Okay. Yeah.
And I think we did it in the makeup artist's flat and then went from the flat to the studio.
Okay, yeah.
Because we needed so long to do it.
Yeah.
But we tried on a wig as well, actually, for the shoot, but we decided against it.
Nah, well, I think the hair looks great as it is like that. I think it goes really well with it. It's giving me kind of very, I don't know, it's like kind of 90s vibes.
It's more 90s the makeup actually. You're right. It's the dress that's making me think 60s.
Yeah, maybe the 60s and 90s combined.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's kind of, I don't know, it's a bit alien-y as well, like space age.
Well, it's futuristic. A bit, and I think the way, I don't know if it's how it's been, if it's in the edit or the way it's been lit, but it's a bit kind of like dreamy looking as well. It's a bit soft. And
I think that was, well, you can put the edit on as it comes through to the computer, can't you? But her lighting was insane. I noticed she'd just take one picture and it already looked amazing, like it didn't need editing.
Yeah.
So it could be down to Melanie's skills.
Yeah.
Potentially. Yeah, she's so good.
Yeah. Do you remember the setup, the lighting setup or anything?
No. Oh no. No, sorry. I wish I did. That's from the photographer
side.
Yeah, I don't have a clue. I wish I did because she's clearly really good at it, but no, I'm sorry. I really don't know.
No, well, like I say, I think there's quite a bit, and again with the edits as well, I think that kind of softening side is one, but yeah. Very nice. We'll move into the second one if you want then.
Cool.
Image 2, which is, it's not that one, it's that one.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Keep on your toes.
Oh, that's fine, yeah.
Don't worry, so I think this was it was a jewellery one for a brand, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was for H. Samuel's Jewellers. And this was like completely opposite, massive team, maybe about 50 people, and it was shot over 3 days, I think. So we did like 1.5 days photo, 1.5 day video, like 8 models. Yeah, really big team, but it's a shame because it's such a big team, like I don't have the photographer or the makeup artist, I don't know anyone's names.
Yeah.
Can't remember who it was. But
that's all right, welcome back.
Yeah, I'll have to do some research. Yeah. But I loved it. It was such a fun shoot, like proper lovely team, really nice people. Just good vibes, really. Good vibes. Got treated very well. Breakfast every morning. I love that. Yeah.
It's quite. You say it's like a 3-day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not super long, but I mean, again, compared a lot of stuff nowadays, it's like try and get it done in a day.
Yeah.
A couple of days maximum. So it's quite a bit of a longer one.
It was pretty long. It was quite a big production, I think. And I think because they had so many models, they were having to spread it out quite a lot.
Right.
Because they had kids which is like a separate thing. They had men's and they had women's, and they had 3 female models. So it's just a lot to shoot.
And you were there with the 3 days?
All day, all 3 days,
Okay.
yeah. But it was a lot of, waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, only a bit of shooting, a lot of waiting, but
It's kind of like taking turns.
Yeah.
Different people jumping in.
the waiting was fun though, because everyone was nice. So I was chatting to people, making friends. Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It was in London, that one.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, have you done, one of the things I was going to ask, this is like the 3D. Oh yeah, had you done much jewellery stuff? Is that something quite new?
Maybe bits and bobs, but nothing big, and maybe not for a long while as well. So no, I think that's the first, especially the first biggish jewellery campaign that I've done. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it.
Do you feel like there's a different sort of, I mean, obviously like with that image, like with the handle, obviously it's not shown off. Do you feel like there's certain stuff you have to think about differently as you're modelling?
Definitely, yeah. You've got to think about showing off. No matter what you're shooting, you're thinking about what it is you're selling, aren't you? So, yeah, like getting the ear to camera and getting the hand in and just making sure that you can see the product clearly. Obviously, that's important. But I think it's the same with no matter what you're shooting. And I think the longer you're working, like at this point for me, I don't really have to think about it. I just kind of know. It's like subconscious, you know what I mean?
It's automatic now.
Yeah, it's automatic now. But there was a time when I would have been like, what do I do? Like panicking.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's all practice, I think.
Yeah, and I think they say, I've noticed it with shoots, well, it can be, especially like hands can be a real tricky one.
Yeah.
Which again, I mean, that's like, it's great. It's like, I think it's one of them where, did you have to kind of like, is that through practice of doing it, or do you
think
kind of
it
know
is.
what works now, what doesn't?
That's the thing. I think I can, not showing off, but I think I can just do it now. I think most of the time, I think I've learned what looks good and how to make it look more elegant. Sometimes it does not look elegant, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I still look like a claw.
Yeah.
But yeah, generally I think it's quite natural now. I think I've just picked it up over the years. Yeah.
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 And you say it was photos and video. Do you prefer either? Or?
I'm fine with both. I do prefer photos just because I think it's easier. But video's fine as well. Photo's easier because you can have like breaks in between more. And if you pull a funny face, then they just won't use that picture.
Yeah.
Whereas if you pull a funny face in the video, they're going to have to crop it up and maybe you've ruined that shot or whatever. But I'm easy with both.
Do you find like the feed, because I think with the difference with photo video, maybe the with photos you can get like an instant, kind of straight away.
Yeah.
And it's like with video, obviously you kind of you might have the video boy like suggesting stuff as you're doing it, but you feel like with photos, you can kind of straight away like that's working, that's not.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. It is always easier when you can see the pictures as it comes through, and you can think, oh, that's not working, or adjust as you need to. But it's not. Again, I think I'm quite used to it now, so it's not too much of a challenge. I think it would have been a few years ago, but now I feel more comfortable if I can't see it and just trusting the people behind the camera. If they say it looks good, then I'll believe them.
Do you like to look at, especially like from that photo side, do you like to kind of see the shoot as it's happening? Because I know some can be a divider. Some people straight away, I want to see how it's looking. Some people, don't show me, I don't want to see how it looks.
I'd say it's neither of the extremes.
Okay.
I'd say if the pictures are there, I'll look at them, but I'm not rushing over to check them.
Yeah.
I generally trust the team, and if everyone's going, wow, that's amazing, then I'm like, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
But if it's silent, then I'll be like, oh God, what's going on? Let me go and check it out. But I normally do whatever I'm shooting, and at the end of that lot, I'll go and have a look at the pictures. So not in between. Yeah. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah.
And one more with that was just the kind of setup, because in that which you can kind of see like the gold. Was it quite a big studio, quite a big setup? Was it the gold sort of set? Was that like around the whole thing?
It was massive. It was a huge studio. The gold setup was probably like, you mean the camera can't see, but it was like bigger than this that we sat in. It was a really big setup, and they also had 3 other fully fully done sets.
Ready, set up.
Ready to go.
Each
So it was
section
huge. It was a massive place, massive production. Loads of like they had a team just for like the set design, loads of them.
So this was one of the bigger teams.
Yeah, massive team. Just huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the gold was like all the walls were gold, and I think the floor was gold as well, so it reflected up.
Okay.
And there was like a gold roof.
Okay,
so it was all the
pushing
reflections.
The gold,
yeah.
Well, I think because one of the things I was going to mention about that, it's kind of that with the kind of because you look very like bronzy in it as well, and the hair. Was that how it looked on the day? Do you think that's kind of a bit of they've put in a bit of post lot to kind of warm it up, or was it quite with the makeup and everything? Did they kind of put quite a bit of bronze on?
Yeah, they did do quite a lot of bronze. It looked similar to that. I'd say my skin is looking particularly bronzed on this picture, so maybe they have bronzed that up in post. But I think they did put a lot of shimmer all over me as well to get me glowing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think it was a million miles off that. I hope.
Yeah.
I don't think they've done too much to it. So yeah.
Awesome. So the next thing I was going to ask you about was inspo. Like, so where do you kind of get that from? Is it from like who do you get it from, or?
I'm guessing you mean specifically modelling inspo or life inspo.
Let's say from like the modelling side of things. So is there do you kind of watch like what other like models are doing a lot or anything like that?
Yeah, but I also think it's important to not focus too much on what other people are doing. I think the main thing that gets me excited is like what photographers are doing, because it's everyone in this industry is creative, but photographers oftentimes are like insanely creative. Like they've got amazing ideas, and I like when they've got a unique style. So there's a lot of photographers that I follow on Instagram that I just love the style, I love the work, like Melanie that we spoke about. There's quite a lot of others. I don't know if this really famous guy called like Jack Bridgeland. I don't know if you know of him.
He's a photographer.
Okay. He shoots like celebrities and stuff, but he's got a really unique style that I love. And I think a lot of it comes from Instagram. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just scrolling, or like really old like 60s magazines.
Yeah.
Anything. I don't know. Anywhere.
Yeah. No, I think from the photographer side, I can see that kind of. Especially if there's certain, if you're trying to find stuff, say like for one of the things I was going to ask as well about is kind of saying like the testing and stuff we mentioned a bit earlier, but is that something that when you look on that side, you think, this photographer's got this style, I want to add this to my book or something?
It's not necessarily even that my book needs it. It's more that it looks amazing. Like I see it as art, and they're like an artist, and it's like a privilege to work with them. So, yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm kind of waffling a bit.
No, I know what you mean. It's like it's you kind of you see someone whose work you like, and you kind of want to be involved in that. It'd be like nice to kind of create that ourselves as well.
Yeah.
Do your own thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Outside of modelling, so inspo, in terms of like music or anything like that, or what kind of thing?
Well, I love music.
Yeah.
I love like all sorts of music. I do like Manchester music, like indie rock. I like Northern Soul, a bit of funk, all sorts. I know music's like one of my favourite things, I'd say. And I do love art as well. I think that kind of crosses over into this job because a lot of photography is art. And but I'm quite, I don't know, I like to look at amazing creative things, but I don't think I'm that good at thinking ideas up, really.
Right.
Luckily, most of the people are very good at it, and I just get to say, that looks amazing, and I want to be a part of that. But
so do you prefer being like, being like the canvas, basically?
Yeah, I'd love to be able to think of these amazing ideas, but it don't really come naturally to me. I'm always like, of people that can just, what about if we do this, do that? Like, you can see like the cogs turning in the head. I'm not very good at that. I wish I was, but I just don't think I have the eye for it. So I prefer to be like, this is what we're doing. If I have any input, I'll put it in. But it's exciting to watch other people work and watch it all come together. And I'm just like I'm a part of it, but I wouldn't say I'm the talent behind it. I'd say the talent is the rest of the team.
Yeah.
I have it easy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything with like shoots that you won't do or you don't want to do? You've got like limits and stuff as well.
I wouldn't do like nude,
Mm-hmm.
unless no, I wouldn't do nude unless it was like extremely tasteful and for a certain product. Like I wouldn't do it just for the sake of being nude, if that makes sense. Other than that, I think I'm quite chilled, and I'm happy to try new things. And if someone's got an idea, I'll give it a go. Especially if it's for work as well, and it's like an actual job. Then, I'm easy. No, not much that I would say no to. I don't think.
Yeah.
I think maybe like real fur, but that's never come up. It's never been an issue. So, yeah.
Yeah, is that from like, kind of like a sort of moral thing? And
yeah, but I don't know, like, if it's a bit hypocritical because I wear leather, so I don't know if that's,
okay.
Do you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
I'm pretty chilled, I'd say.
Yeah.
Not much I say no to. Within reason, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go into the third image, which was, got it noted down as cowboy boots.
Yes.
That one.
Cool.
Who's this with?
So this is with, the photographer is called Tamila Katzman. She's incredible and she's such a lovely person, and I've been able to work with her since this. She's really talented. Like, all of her work is always flawless, I'd say. A lot of agencies use her because she just knows what she's doing. She's so good. And we shot it at her studio in London, and it was just a test. But we got some amazing pictures out of it. I'd say some of my best pictures. Whenever I turn up at a shoot, it's always these pictures that I like taped on the wall. So, she obviously did a good job. And then she did the styling as well. The makeup artist, I think she's called Alina. She is great also. And then the boots, they're actually from my boyfriend's mum. Okay. She gave those to me. And I love them. They're like my favourite shoes. Everybody always compliments them. So I had to get them in a shot.
Had you seen them before the shoot as well and be like, I'm having them in the shoot?
Well, I just mentioned to her, like, I want some cowgirl boots. And she was like, hang on, disappeared. And came back with these boots. I was like, oh my God, get in. And I was like, yeah, these need to be in a shoot because they're so amazing. And, always get compliments on them. Everybody loves them.
Well, it's the one we picked with that because, they're very kind of prominent in it.
Yeah.
But there's quite, like saying, Tamila's shots, there's quite a few from that section that it was a bit like, which one do you kind of pick is like the one to talk about? Yeah. Was that the first time you shot with her?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'd wanted to shoot with her for a while. And she told me that she was actually supposed to be on holiday and she wasn't doing any shoots. But she was like, I just really want to shoot with you, so I'm not taking my holiday today so we can shoot together, which was really nice. But yeah, never met her before. But yes, just so lovely. She's so enthusiastic. Like, she'll be behind camera like, gorgeous, amazing, you look fabulous. And it makes you feel so good. Yeah, I love that. Although it made me laugh every 2 minutes. There's so many pictures of me laughing because they were both like giving me compliments. I was like, keep it coming, guys. I love it. Yeah.
Well, that was one of my questions going to be, there was a few of the shots of you laughing, and I've noticed it in other bits of your work as well.
Yeah.
And it does look so is that something, can you do that quite naturally, quite easy, or does it really help with, say, like how Tamila was as well?
It's definitely easier if people are making you laugh, but I quite like to smile. Is that weird? I don't know, but I feel like I smile quite a lot anyway. And at this point of my career, I feel like I've totally mastered the smiling for camera, laughing thing, because I always have to make like a weird noise while I'm doing it.
Right, okay.
And I can do like a good natural laugh if I'm making a very strange noise that you can't hear through the picture. So
right, it's an interesting technique.
But it works. Yeah. I'm always like, just don't mind me, just pretend you can't hear me. And it always comes out fine, it works. So, but yeah, I feel like it's quite natural for me to be smiling anyway. I'm more comfortable when I'm smiling. So yeah, it's easy enough. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's not something you really have to kind of practice too much, or?
I don't think so.
I feel like I came quite naturally on the shoot.
I think so, yeah. I think at first it was a bit weird because I was like, why am I making this weird noise? But then I just accepted it. I was like, I'm going to make a weird noise and it's going to work. So, yeah.
And just one more on the shoot with Tamila. So you mentioned she was quite vocal. Yeah, was it kind of like a lot of music? Was it quite loud?
Maybe there was music, but I don't think it was crazy loud. There was just 3 of us. It was mainly just their encouragement. That was the noise, which I loved. It was great. But it was nice, chilled vibes. When there's just 3, you can really take your time and do whatever you want to do. So it was just really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we were saying earlier as well about like the difference. Well, we just gone from the jewellery one.
Yeah.
And then the smaller team where it's a bit more intimate and it's like you can kind of bounce ideas off each other, just like there's a few of it. It's probably, it can make it a bit easier in some ways.
Yeah. And I think when there's fewer of you, it's easier to be more vocal, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
When there's not so many different opinions and there's just 3 of you that have to agree on something, it's a lot easier. But again, I'm quite lucky. Most of the ideas came from their amazing creative brains. And I was just like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's do it. So, yeah.
Nice. So the next thing, we've mentioned it a little bit, is your hair. You've had quite a lot of changes with hair and all that sort of stuff. First of all, do you prefer the short hair then to the long?
Yeah, I love it short. This is actually really, really long for me. I wish it was shorter, but it's not as, what's the word? Versatile. It's not as versatile when it's shorter.
Right.
Because I loved it. It was so easy and I felt quite comfortable with it. But it was quite limiting for work. You could have like one style and that was it. Now that there's a bit more length, you can do a bit more with it. So I think I'm going to stick around this length for a while and see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the things I was going to ask as well about the kind of versatility with it.
Yeah.
So you feel like that's a decent length with? Yeah.
I think so, and I think it's still different at this length, and I think this cut is quite like shaggy, so it's still got something to it. It's not like boring or plain. But yeah, when it's super short, it's just too restricting. You can't, there's just not enough you can do with it, and I wasn't getting much work when it was super short. But this length I've got pretty good amount of work, so far it's working for me at this length. Yeah.
What made you kind of make the change when you had from long hair?
I've always enjoyed changing my hair. I always get bored of it really easily, which isn't good when you do this job because you're supposed to just stick to one. But I think do you know what it was? I think I watched The Batman with Catwoman.
Okay.
And I think I thought, I want to look like her. So
it was around that sort of time.
It was around that time. And I asked my agency and they were like, yeah, go for it. Like, we think that'll give you something unique and it'll make you stand out. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So I spoke to my hairstylist and just did it. And I was really happy that I did it, actually. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Yeah,
because it's quite a jump and it can be, you've kind of got to, in a weird way, know that it's going to suit you, it's going to work.
Yeah.
Do you have a favourite hairstyle you've had from a shoot? You've had quite a few.
Yeah, I've had so many, I don't even know. I'd say my hairstylist, he's amazing, he's called James, and he works for GHD. So the work that I've done for them has always been like interesting, quite creative. So maybe some extensions, super mullety, quite like cool. Do you know what I mean? Not very girly, more like cool. I really like that kind of thing. But I do just like trying out everything and new styles, dressing up. I think it's a lot of fun. And there's not much that I don't like. Yeah, I'm very chilled out in general. I'll take anything. And
I think that's I think that's good. Like saying for especially with work and shoots, and it's kind of being open and not being too restricted to certain stuff. It's like trying different looks. Yeah,
I've had like a few colours put on sometimes for shoots, which in the moment I'm always like, yeah, let's do it, and afterwards I'm like,
is it a lot of effort kind of getting it out?
Sometimes it is. They always say, don't worry, it'll wash out, but it never does.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes it can be a pain. I had it blue once and I actually had to bleach it myself at home. to get rid of it, which really damaged my hair. But I had to do that because I had a shoot coming up, so I couldn't wait for it to rinse out. So it can be quite, like my hair is really damaged now, really, really damaged, and really unhealthy. So I'm lucky it's short. But because I bleach it as well, it's just like not in a good condition. That's one thing about this job. You're putting like heat on it every day.
Yeah, it takes a lot.
It does.
Yeah, it does get a bit of a battering. It's like a lot of like heat and products and everything going into it. Yeah.
Yeah, but at least it's short and I can cut the dead off and it's not too bad. Yeah.
Well, like we were saying there as well about the especially with like your portfolios and all that stuff, it's can be a bit tricky, kind of, especially with like a certain length and keeping up to date, because you've got to have certain shots for like in your portfolio that people need to see. They need to know that it looks as it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's something kind of a bit tricky, kind of maintaining it. But
it is. Sometimes I turn up on a shoot and I'm like, my hair is so long compared to the pictures, like the ones that we have up on the wall. My hair just looks completely different, and I get a bit stressed about it, but it's always worked out okay.
Are they going to kind of say anything? Or,
like, are they going to say, you're not good enough, you have to go? Do you know what I mean? But it's never happened. It's always fine. But yeah, just got to keep on top of it, really. I'll try to.
Okay. Let's go. Oh, one more thing I just wanted to ask as well. We kind of talked about at the start was, do you feel any pressure with like to be a certain size or anything like that? I know we kind of mentioned it a little bit with like on shoots when if there's like certain comments or something like that. Do you feel from outside sources or whatever, Instagram, are you sort of someone who notices that, feels that pressure?
It's quite funny because I feel like I've actually got the complete opposite of what a lot of people get. I think a lot of models get pressured into losing weight, especially if you're working in like Milan or Paris, where it's still very strict. A lot of models do get a lot of pressure. I think in England we're quite forward, we're quite chilled out, and we want to be more inclusive. But I've actually been told quite several times that I'm too thin, which really frustrates me because I don't try and be this way. It's just how I am.
Do you have like quite high metabolism?
I must do. I must do, because I don't eat like particularly well. So yeah, that's frustrating because I think you wouldn't. Nowadays, it's not acceptable to tell someone that they're too big, and it shouldn't be acceptable. So it shouldn't be acceptable to say that you're too small either. I don't think.
Yeah.
But I am lucky. I don't feel too much pressure. If someone says something like that to me, then I just let it brush over me. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But I'm lucky because I know there's so many girls that really do get like a lot of stick for the weight, and it like really affects them. So I am lucky that I haven't been through anything like that really. So very fortunate.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people say like the best one as well is just ignoring it.
Yeah,
especially with social media and stuff like that. It's just
and the thing is, it's different. It's different which client you're working for. Like for one client, they might think you're too big, but you might be too small for another one. So just don't listen to anyone. Just be happy with yourself. That's all that matters. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, nice. Last image, which I think is we've done that one, the denim one.
Yes.
So yeah, same again. What was this one for? Was this another just test?
Just a test. Yeah. See, all the most creative and fun images are always tests. That was shot in this building, not in the studio. And it was really last minute. I think it was like 2 days before. And we didn't have much time. We had like 2 hours. So we wanted to do 3 or 4 looks, and we ended up just doing 2 in the end. But we got some really good pictures from both looks. And again, a lot of it, I think, is down to styling. But Alexis, the photographer, she again I think has her own unique style and way that she photographs, which was something that I really wanted to work with her because I loved her work. The stylist, I never worked with her before, but she was really good, really passionate, and she organised these really long amazing nails for me, which really like complete the look, I think. And makeup artist again, amazing, lovely guy as well, Jack. Really good.
Was it before, like we mentioned that as well, about with the team beforehand and not the photographer and that, had you kind of not seen what Alexis stuff and then thought, that's kind of, I want to get to similar to that style, which is
yeah. I think I'd seen her work and just thought, like, that's really cool. And I've not got much like that I've done previously. So I think generally I just like doing new things that I haven't done before, just to show in my book all the different styles of stuff that I can do, and that I can work for all these different kinds of things. That's kind of what I try and do. Because this, I don't think I've really got much like that. It's quite cool. Like, I don't know how you describe it, but it's quite unique, I think.
Yeah.
There's not much else like it in my book.
It's very kind of icy feel as well, like the blues and everything. And then, like I say, with the, obviously, like the styling's a big thing as well, and it's kind of a lot going on, a lot of creative ideas going on there as well. Yeah.
Everyone was very creative on that team, very creative and very talented.
Yeah.
And it all came together. I think they'd all worked together before as well, so they had sort of lined up their ideas with each other. And I was just like, I'm just here for the ride. I'm going to enjoy it. And just got to play dress up, really. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do you like shoots like that where again, I think from talking, I kind of gauged that you're not really too like on one thing, or if you quite like a variety. So I was going to ask about, do you prefer shoots that are a bit more kind of heavy with styling, heavy with makeup? But I think gathering from what we've been talking about, I feel like you're quite open to sort of...
Yeah, I mean, it's not a very good answer, is it? But I'm very much
you can be like... Yeah, you can be very kind of open to...
I'm just open, and I think it's more fun when you're doing different kinds of things, keeps it interesting. And I'll try anything. I think it just only increases your own knowledge, if that makes sense. And it's just more exciting, doing more stuff. Yeah.
Perfect. We'll finish on the last couple of questions I had was, one of them was going forward in the future, like the near future, anything coming up that you want to do, any sort of direction you want to go in?
Well, I feel like with this job, a lot of people say to you, make the most of it while you can't do this forever. But I think if you actually look like on TV, on billboards, there's so many like middle-aged models. If you're going to do it commercial modelling as well, I think you can actually do it for as long as you want, as long as you're relatively successful. So I'd like to stick with modelling as long as I can. Obviously, we'll just see what happens. And my biggest dream is to work in Tokyo. That's my biggest goal.
Okay, nice.
So I am going in May, so I'm going to have some meetings with some agencies, and hopefully, please, I'll get signed to an agency there. That's my biggest thing I want to do in the future. Work over there, maybe for a couple of months.
What is it about Tokyo that's...
It's just like my favourite place I've ever been, ever. I love the people. I just love everything about it. I think it's the best place in the world. I think it's a perfect place. And I think I'd work quite well there. I think everyone tells me that they'd like my kind of look. So hopefully it's true. But the other thing, I just want to keep working abroad. I've been working in Sweden quite a lot recently, which is fun. And then I just want to see more of the world whilst earning money to sort of cover my costs. That's my future plans. Keep working abroad as much as possible and just doing exciting things. And
it's the ideal job for that, like I say. It's getting to see the world and that as well. Nice. But again, I'm quite easy. I'd go anywhere and work anywhere and try anything new. I just like doing new things, Yeah. That's what I like with the job from photography side, about modern side and everything. I like that it can take you anywhere.
Yeah.
It's that sort of job, and it's, you're not restricted to one place.
No, it's exciting. And you meet so many interesting people and just have experiences you never would have got to have. So, no, I love it,
Yeah. We'll keep an eye out for you in Tokyo as well.
Fingers crossed. I mean, it is a dream. Maybe it will never happen, but I hope it does.
No, that's good. Well, it's good that you say if you're going over there and you've got a chance to kind of chat to people over there and do that as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, they might all hate me, so we'll see how it goes. I'm sure, hopefully they won't.
Last question. Any advice for anyone who's looking to get into modelling, anyone just starting out?
I'd say if you're just starting out, I'd say apply for a lot of agencies. Don't just put all your eggs in one basket and then be gutted when they say no, because like so many agencies have said no to me. It's more like, don't take it to heart if you get a no, keep trying. And it kind of depends like on luck, I think. One day you might get someone who's just having a bad day, or you know, you might get one booker that thinks you're amazing, but another booker at the same agency that don't think you'll work. So it's all about timings and luck. Like don't take it to heart too much and just keep on going. Any other advice? I think just like having a thick skin, being tough, and don't take it too seriously. Just try and enjoy yourself. That's probably my best advice.
Yeah, that's good advice.
Yeah. And just like testing as much as you can, making connections as much as you can, trying to appearing on as many people's Instagram as possible so that more people are seeing you. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you. That's it. Thanks for joining.
Easy, nice. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome.